A mother's 20-year mystery finally solved on a Colorado mountaintop. A young teacher who adopted her former student and became a single mom of two, and a reunion 80 years in the making as descendants of World War II heroes meet for the very first time. Plus stories of inspiration and courage from Baton Rouge to Peru, and our video of the week honoring a four-legged officer's service. It's Friday, September 12th, and this is the Feel Good Flyover. Hi, friends. I'm Amy Hess, and welcome to the Feel Good Flyover. You know, the news cycle can feel so heavy at times. It's easy to get weighed down by headlines that are devastating or discouraging. But here on this show, we want to remind you that there is still goodness out there. Every day, people are stepping up with courage, kindness, and hope. And those stories deserve the spotlight too. That's why we're here, to shine a light on the good, to give you a breath of encouragement at the end of the week, and to remind us all that hope isn't lost. It's happening all around us. So with that, let's take off with today's top stories. 20 years ago, 35-year-old Michelle Vanek, a mother of four, set out to climb Colorado's Mount of the Holy Cross. She never returned, sparking the largest hiker search in state history. 850 searchers combed the mountain for 8 days, finding nothing. For 19 years, her case remained one of Colorado's greatest mysteries, fueling countless theories and podcasts. In 2022, hikers discovered a lone boot in the Lake Patricia area. Rescuers confirmed it was Michelle's. That clue reignited interest in her case. Then came the next clue from an unexpected place. In fall of 2023, Scott Beebe, a longtime mountain rescuer and Lutheran pastor, says Michelle came to him in a dream and told him she wanted to be found by women. I asked him about that moment.
I, was sleeping soundly and heard a voice. And that's all it was. It wasn't any kind of vision, just a voice that said, I don't want to be found by a guy. Guys got me into trouble. I don't want to be found by a guy. And it was a woman's voice, and I believe it was Michelle.
Beebe said when he shared the dream, men dismissed it, but the women on the team said it made perfect sense. He also reflected on how the original search team was led almost entirely by men, while women were sidelined to support roles. So he turned the mission over to the women of Vail Mountain Rescue. They studied old flight logs and maps, digitized the records, and even secured a female helicopter pilot to fly them in.
So they're sitting up on the North Ridge, and one of the gals said, I feel her. We're close. And one by one, the other five said the exact thing. And they were afraid to say anything because they thought, man, everyone's going to think I'm nuts. But they were all feeling the same thing, that Michelle was close by. And they found 3 spots that, if she had gone off the ridge, that here's where she may have gone. And they were all areas that looked down. We know that she was out of food, out of water. And from the ridge, you can look down and see Lake Patricia. And if, for some reason, if she was thirsty and was wanting to get down to water, here's where she may have gone down. And so they marked those 3 areas. They came back, searched the first 2 areas, and got to the third gully. And as they dropped down from the ridge line, they looked down, and by golly, there they found her pack. That was the first thing they noticed. People climbed down, found ski poles, gloves, pieces of her jacket, leggings, all that kind of stuff. And it turned out to be all of her items. We've been searching for Michelle for 19 years. And we turned it over to the gals, and they came up with a plan, found her in 3 weeks.
That was in September of 2024. A month later, a cadaver team confirmed Michelle's remains. Along with a lavender beaded necklace, her husband Ben immediately recognized. Her family said it felt like a cloud had been lifted after nearly 2 decades. And this summer, Michelle's nephew honored her memory by running the grueling Leadville 100 ultramarathon, raising more than $14,000 for the rescue team that never gave up. We've got more on this story linked in today's show notes. At just 24, Indiana teacher Paige Bramlett faced a life-changing choice. One of her students, a little boy named William, needed a permanent home. Paige was single, young, and still finding her own way, but she felt God nudging her to step forward. She became his foster mom, and 2 years later, in 2021, she officially adopted William, giving him her last name and a forever family. Paige says the opportunity came in a series of steps orchestrated by God, teaching her to trust his plans, not her own. The process wasn't easy. She faced skepticism in courtrooms, challenges during the pandemic, and doubts about being a single parent. But she leaned into her faith, her family, and a growing community of adoptive moms for strength. Today, Paige is a single mom of two, William and a baby girl she welcomed in 2023. She's also a family specialist with a foster care ministry, encouraging others that even in heartbreak and uncertainty, love and perseverance can carry you through. Her favorite moments, the simple ones, laughing, movie nights, and Taco Tuesdays with her kids. Paige says motherhood has stretched her, but it's also shown her resilience she never knew she had. And now she hopes William will one day share his own story, a story of hope, strength, and the power of family. She shared more about how her life did not turn out the way that she imagined, but how she is still thankful. We've got the full-length TikTok video linked in the show, but here's a quick clip.
It's just been a wild ride of single motherhood. Love it here. Wouldn't change it for the world. I just did not see my life ever looking like this. It is chaotic. It is crazy. It is crazy. I have learned to find peace in the chaos and thankful for Jesus. Just super thankful that William made me a mom through adoption, and really, really thankful for his birth mom for choosing life.
80 years after the end of World War II, descendants of a heroic B-17 bomber crew reunited for the very first time. The crew of the Yankee Rebel flew more than 30 missions together, including one flight where the pilot was wounded and unconscious. Against all odds, the co-pilot landed the badly damaged plane in England without landing gear, saving the entire crew. The reunion began when Lisa Elzey, granddaughter of ball turret gunner Harold Lounsbury Jr., uncovered her grandfather's story in a 1944 newspaper article. Using ancestry records, she tracked down other families connected to the Yankee Rebel. Those families met at the National Museum of the Mighty 8th Air Force in Georgia. They shared artifacts, wartime journals, and emotional memories. One descendant said, "Your relatives are all people he loved. This means the world. You guys are my family." What started as a granddaughter's search for answers became one final mission, a powerful reminder that legacies of courage can bring families and even strangers together across generations. We have a link to see photos and an interview with these families and their incredible bond in today's show notes. Before we wrap up today's episode, here are a few more stories we thought you needed to make sure you are feeling good. In Baton Rouge, 66-year-old retired accountant Ken Broussard is living out a childhood dream he thought had passed him by. As a boy, he dreamed of playing tuba for the LSU Tiger Marching Band. Decades later, after raising a family and retiring, Kent decided to give it one more shot. He relearned the tuba from scratch and auditioned against college students almost half a century younger. To his surprise, he made the cut, becoming the oldest member of the LSU band by 41 years. Kent says he hopes his story inspires others to step out of their comfort zone. In his words, the only failure is not trying. From the marching band in Baton Rouge to a backyard in Peru where a little dog showed some very big bravery. A 25-pound Cocker Spaniel mix named Munches is being hailed as a hero after saving her family from a dynamite attack. Security video shows a hooded man throwing a lit stick of dynamite into the yard of journalist Carlos Alberto Macias Zarate. While most dogs would run away, Munches ran toward it. She pawed and even bit at the fuse, extinguishing it before it could explode. Her owner says she chewed it and saved our lives. That household includes 10 people and 3 other dogs. Munches injured her vocal cords in the process and now barks with a rasp, but she's recovering and being celebrated as a 4-legged lifesaver. Authorities have since arrested a suspect. From Peru, let's jump to Italy, where a traveler's Airbnb turned out to be her family's ancestral home. A young woman named Flor got the surprise of a lifetime when she booked an Airbnb in the medieval village of Castel San Lorenzo. Flor had traveled from Argentina hoping to see where her father grew up. But when she arrived, she discovered she hadn't just booked a room. She had booked the very home her father was born in. Her hosts, Margarita and her daughter Enza, even confirmed the family had purchased the house years ago from Flor's grandparents. They helped her dig into local records and piece together family history she never expected to find. It was a homecoming generations in the making, a reminder that sometimes life has a way of bringing us right back to our roots. And finally, to Louisville, Kentucky, where one mom raised $1 million to make sure her son and kids of all abilities could finally play side by side. 6-year-old Luke Madson spent years watching other kids play because most playgrounds weren't built for wheelchairs. His mom, Sarah, decided to change that. Through her nonprofit, she raised $1 million to build Panther Park, an all-abilities playground with ramps, adaptive swings, sensory-friendly slides, and shaded spaces. Even golfer Justin Thomas pitched in to help fund it. This summer, Luke finally got to play side by side with other kids. As Sarah put it, no one has to sit and watch someone else play. We've linked her nonprofit in today's show notes. Our video of the week comes from Trophy Club, Texas, where the community said a bittersweet farewell to one of its most loyal officers, K9 Indy.
966. Hey.
966, guy.
Show me 1042, and after 9 years of service, if you'll show my K9 partner Indy out of service 1042 for the last time.
Indy has always answered the call, no matter the hour, to assist officers in our county and beyond. Thank you, K9 Indy, for your service and love for the job you have done to protect and serve. From all of us to you, Indy, we wish you a happy retirement. K9 Indy, you are 1042 for the final time. Denton County clear at 1806.
What do you say? What do you say? We appreciate it, County.
That retirement video went viral last year, and now Indy's story is back in the news again. Since retiring, he's been diagnosed with a serious gastrointestinal condition, and the cost of his care had fallen entirely on his handler, who's still serving as a police officer. This week, Project K9 Hero stepped in to cover Indy's medical expenses. A big thank you to nonprofits like this one who step in to honor the tremendous work of K9 Heroes and support them in retirement. We've linked more about their efforts in today's show notes. Now it's time for Amy's Altitude Check, where we reflect back over this week's stories to let the good really sink in. Today's stories show how deeply knowing our roots matters, not just emotionally, but spiritually and psychologically. Research confirms that the more we know about our family's past, the more our self-esteem grows and our anxiety and feelings of being lost go down, especially for younger generations. Understanding where you come from helps you develop a stronger sense of identity that's rooted and resilient. The Bible invites us to remember the days of old and share your family stories and God's faithfulness with the next generation. Whether it's Michelle's story bringing peace to her family after 2 decades, Flor unexpectedly finding her family's house, or descendants of brave World War II airmen meeting for the first time. There's a real redemptive power in memory. Today, maybe take a moment to ask an elder in your family, or look at a photo, or dig into your own story, because heritage isn't just history, it's strength, it's identity, and it points us forward with purpose. That's all for this week's Feel Good Flyover. I'm so glad you joined me. It's always a joy to share these stories with you. If you'd like more stories like these, plus daily news delivered straight to your inbox without the spin, sign up for free at jointheflyover.com. And don't forget, our episodes are divided into chapters, so you can easily share a single story or section with a friend who could use a little encouragement. I'll be right back with you here next Friday. Until then, keep looking for the good. It's out there.